In this video, we'll talk about NASA's James Webb Telescope capturing the bones of a distant spiral galaxy. JWST has been the star of the show ever since its launch earlier this year. It's been nothing short of an amazing feat seeing the magnificence of the world's largest telescope as it looked deep into the nothingness out there, but that's the thing, we can't even begin to imagine what's out there, but JWST is helping us see it. First up, JWST captures bones of a stunning spiral galaxy. We owe our thanks to the Hubble telescope as it was our introduction to the wonders of space. People still use photos of distant galaxies captured by the Hubble as their desktop background. But the JWST has really changed the game. James Webb is unveiling things that we didn't even think were there in most stunning pictures the scientific community has ever seen. The latest to join the gallery is the beautiful photo of a galaxy millions of light years away. With a spiral structure called the IC5332, the galaxy is located in the constellation Sculptor, which is more than 29 million light years away from us. The IC5332 is roughly 2/3 the size of our Milky Way, which makes it about 66,000 light years wide galaxies that were photographed by the Hubble telescope. Since there were limitations in Hubble's capacity to see into the infrared region of the electromagnetic spectrum, it couldn't map out the details of the cluster of dust, stars, and gas that surrounded its spirals. The JWST has snapped the galaxy in all its glory compared to the previous photo, highlighting its bone structure. The JWST shows the spiral arms as a continuous tangle of structures, while the Hubble telescope snapped it in a way that shows dark regions that separate the spiral arms. The bones, as NASA's referring, are actually the pattern of gas dispersed through the galaxy that James Webb was able to see through the dust. That's why it looks quite different from what Hubble snapped, as the telescope's ultraviolet and visible light image highlight the dark areas of the cosmic dust as well as the different colors of older and younger stars. It's simply the difference between the advanced technologies used in the JWST, which is changing the game of the way we see the cosmos. Up next, NASA's James Webb shocks the world with stunning spiral galaxy details. Yes, the details from the James Webb Telescope are stunning to the point where astronomers can finally find satisfaction from some painstaking years of putting the telescopes together. As for the spiral galaxy IC5332, James Webb used its famous mid-infrared instrument, or MIRI, to see past the dust, as it can easily make out wavelengths ranging from 5 to 28 micrometers. When objects are too far away, the light coming from them stretches into the infrared region, which is difficult to detect without the right technology. This is what's special about the JWST, but this is exactly why it took so much time to prepare it. For instance, MIRI needs to be kept at negative 266 degrees Celsius in order for it to operate effectively. MIRI needs to be super cooled for it to look through all that noise and keep the images from being grainy. People were quick to spot the difference between Hubble and JWST's images, which validates the advancement done to James Webb. It is 100 times more powerful than its ancestor and currently resides about 1 million miles from Earth. But NASA isn't quick to disregard Hubble's efforts completely. According to the space agency, the side-by-side comparison of the two and their different views will help them better understand the composition and structures of faraway galaxies. The $10 billion telescope is operated by the Canadian Space Agency, NASA, and the European Space Agency, and hopes to catch glimpses of galaxies that are hidden in the darkness of space. Coming up, JWST catches a shiny object in space. We wouldn't be surprised if JWST peeked into a distant advanced civilization hiding far away in the cosmos. While that didn't happen, the most powerful telescope in the world continues to capture wonders, including unprecedented details of faraway galaxies and other cosmic objects. The latest to surface is a sparkling discovery that was sitting comfortably in the very first full-color image released from the telescope. We all remember the historic deep field image unveiled by President Biden, but astronomers have now pinpointed what they think is the most distant globular cluster ever identified. The first image from JWST showed galaxies dating back only a few hundred million years from the Big Bang. Now we have a global cluster that has been dubbed the Sparkler Galaxy and has caught the eye of astronomers from the University of Toronto. Globular is actually a dense star collection that has fewer of the heavier chemicals and is generally quite old. The Sparkler Galaxy is surrounded by small yellow-red dots, which weren't initially available to Hubble, but it confused astronomers if this trail of yellow-red dots star is because of the multiplication caused by gravitational lensing distortion. But after careful observation, astronomers discovered that the sparkles are indeed associated with the Sparkler Galaxy because it was projected 3 times in the SMACS 0723 image. The sparklers around the Sparkler Galaxy are global clusters that these were present much earlier in the history of the universe, according to Dr. Lamia Maula from Toronto Toronto's Dunlop Institute for Astronomy and Astrophysics, we are seeing that sparklers, as it was about 4.5 billion years after the Big Bang, astronomers hope to continue using the JWST to peak to the time when the universe began to form. Next, in related news, the world is in awe over rarely seen Neptune rings in pictures by JWST. The James Webb Telescope continues to awe the world as it sees the universe in a light like never before. Have you ever seen Neptune as if it were a planet out of a Star Wars movie? Heck, not that many people even knew that Neptune had rings, but there it is, the new epic image captured by the Wonder Telescope, and it's the clearest image of the planet's rings that are rarely visible. It's being reported that some of these rings haven't been detected since 1989, and it's the clearest picture of them in a decade. Webb's near-infrared camera, or NIR cam, was the hero who helped detect the planet's fainter dust bands and bright rings. The JWST's image helped astronomers better understand the planet's composition, such as the thin glowing band encircling the equator. They are produced by patterns of global atmospheric circulation. Scientists have reason to believe that this same circulation is what powers the planet's winds and storms. But what has taken people by storm is the magnificent luminescence in the photo. The planet is actually glowing, and it probably is due to the filtration by the telescope's infrared powers. The JWST will not only capture images, but can also help scientists distinguish compositions of various cosmic objects, and following that, the world believes that the James Webb Telescope can really look into the past. Yes, that's the burning question right now. Is James Webb really looking into the past? But how can we see something that has already passed some billions of years ago? According to NASA, telescopes can be the time machines, and they can look back in the past, but with a very simple trick: light. Despite traveling really fast, the light coming from most of the twinkling stars you'll see in the sky is from millions of years ago. The light from these objects are also billions and millions of miles away, taking a very long time to reach us, and so by the time they do, they don't actually exist. For instance, it takes about 8 minutes for the light from the sun to reach Earth, so when you look at the sun, you're actually seeing how it was 8 minutes ago. But you simply just can't see deep into space without a powerful telescope. That's where JWST comes in handy, as it can even detect wavelengths in an infrared region. The James Webb Telescope can zoom deep into space and capture the light coming from distant galaxies and stars. Even when they're stretched, it can look past duty regions of space and study light that was emitted more than 13 billion years ago. And finally, NASA's Artemis launch gets pushed back yet once again. Someone really did a number of NASA's Artemis moon program, as it failed to lift off for the third time. The technical difficulties just keep sprawling up, and now even the weather doesn't want this launch to happen. NASA will have to wait at least till the mid of November to consider the launch amidst the devastation that is Hurricane Ian. NASA had the SLS move back to the vehicle assembly as a precautionary measure when the hurricane made landfall. NASA's thankfully reported no damage caused to the KSC facility because of the storm and will be looking for a new launch window. The space agency will now attempt to follow the November 12th to November 27th launch window. It will give the employees at Kennedy enough time to deal with the damages to their homes and families in the storm. Artemis is NASA's most ambitious moon program for putting humans back on the moon. That's a wrap for this video. Do you think JWST can even look as close as the very beginnings of the universe? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos just like it. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next one.